all be on the doctor, or maybe you are going to be a doctor. That's fantastic. But this definitely does happen. If my doctor says I'm ordering this for you, I don't ever usually question it, okay? But here in this math problem, we are wanting to check and make sure that they have given the proper dosage. So here's the problem. A doctor orders 250 milligrams of Rocephin to be taken by a 19.8 pound infant every 8 hours. Okay? The medication label shows that 75 to 150 milligrams per kilogram per day is the appropriate dosage. Is this doctor's order within the desired range? So again, the fact that we're even checking this, I'm like, oh, that's kind of scary. But let's go ahead and get started, okay? The doctor orders 250 milligrams of Rocephin to be taken by a 19.8 pound infant every 8 hours. The dosage is for 75 to 150 milligrams per kilogram per day. Is the appropriate dosage range? Is the doctor's order within the desired range? Okay. If you look in the upper right-hand corner, guys, let's put our backpacks down at least so I can see you. All right. We have 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. No, we're not using that at all. You guys don't even have that on your paper, do you? Okay. 1 mile, we're not using that. 1 pound kilogram, yes, I think we're going to be using that. So how would you start this problem? Again, this is the hardest part, figuring how to begin and start the problem. Let's put that away, please. How would you start this problem? What do we know that is going on that the doctor has prescribed? Okay, so let's start with that. 250 milligrams of this drug. And how often is that being taken? Every 8 hours. So every 8 hours, we're taking 250, we're not, the baby. We should give the baby 250 milligrams. Pencils, there's a couple pencils over there. Okay. Can we figure out if that is appropriate for what they are giving us for the dosage right now? Does it say for 8 hours? It says per day. So what do I need to do to get this to a day? I don't think we're going to divide it. Right, we want to multiply, okay? So if it's 250 milligrams for every 8 hours, I could say how many hours are there in a day? And that would be 24 hours in 1 day. Okay? The other way you could have done it is said 24 divided by 8 is 3, and I could have taken this by 3. So my hours are going to cancel out because you want what's on the top and the bottom to cancel out. And I know 24 divided by 8 is going to be 3. And if you take 250 times 3, you get 750 milligrams a day. Okay, so that's the appropriate dosage for this baby for a day. But we have a range that is appropriate. So I've got to figure out, is this dosage amount in this range? Okay, well, this is milligrams per kilogram per day. But our baby the weight is in pounds. So I've got to do something to check this appropriate dosage with the pound of the baby. All right, so let's start with the low end, the 75. So I'm going to do the low end of the boundary. Okay, and that is 75 milligrams per 1 kilogram, right? 75 milligrams per 1 kilogram. But our baby, again, is in 19.8 pounds. Here we have the equivalent ratio. 1 pound is 0.454 kilograms. So since I want my kilograms to cancel out, I'm going to put 0.454 kilograms on the top, and that is equivalent to 1 pound. And LB is the abbreviation for pound. Okay. And how much does this baby weigh? 19.8 pounds. So I'm going to take this times 19.8 pounds. And that means my kilograms are going to cancel out, my pounds are going to cancel out, and I will be left with milligrams. So on your calculators, take 75 times 0.454 times 19.8. And this is the low end. And what do we get, Isaiah? And that is milligrams per day. Okay, milligrams per 1 day. I guess I could put it that way. 19. Oh, 19? Okay. Close enough. That's okay. So that's the low end of the dose. All right. The dose that we were given, is 750. So that's good, but I need to see where the upper boundary is. All right. So the upper boundary of the dosage is for 150 milligrams per kilogram times this unit ratio or equivalent ratio is still the same because there are 0.454 kilograms in a pound. We're still talking about the same size baby. So that's 19.8 pounds. And all these units are going to cancel out. And when I multiply that, 150 times 0.454 times 19.8, it should be almost double that amount, right? So what is the answer for that when you multiply all these? Well, we did 75 times that. Now we're doing 150. So what is that new number? 1,348.38 milligrams per day. Okay, so this is the lower boundary. This is the upper boundary. This is the actual dosage. Is this in between both of those? Yes. So is that the appropriate dosage range? Is the doctor's order within the desired range? Yes, because 750 is between 674 and 1,348. Okay, so that's a yes. Questions on that? Okay, people, let's put the phones away. Please, put the phones away. Phones away. Computers away. Phones away. All right, let's go to the next one. Any questions about this one? Again, you are trying to find equivalent ratios or equivalent unit conversions. All right, so let's go to the next one. We're going to become farmers. Anybody looking at agriculture at all? No? You do a lot of math in agriculture, talking about weed control, seeds, all that kind of stuff. So let's take a look here. You own an empty 1 acre lot, and 1 acre, what is an acre? Do you know what an acre is? Is that a unit of length or is that a unit of area, volume? Area, yes. We're talking about a field. Right. Ah, is that how you remember? So an acre is an area. And let's see, we have 640 acres is 1 mile squared. 1 mile is 5,280. So this is a length, and this is also talking about area. Okay? Schneider, it's okay. You can get your head up. Start that. All right. It says if 1 inch of rain fell over your 1 acre lot, how many cubic inches of water fell on your lot? And you can't just say, a lot fell on my lot. Okay, 1 inch of rain. Then it says, how many cubic inches? What are we talking about here if we're talking about cubic inches? We are talking about length, area, or volume? Volume, yes. So we're talking about volume here. All right, here's the hard part. How do you get started? Well, what information do they give us? That's usually what you start with. We have 1 inch of rain. All right, so we're going to start with that. 1 inch of rain. We have to talk and get to cubic inches. So cubic inches is inches what? Inches cubed, or inches to the 3rd power, right? I hate it when this doesn't write. Inches cubed, or inches to the 3rd power. Okay? We have 1 inch that we're starting with. We are talking about acreage, which is area. So I'm going to have to change this somewhere to area. And area of acres goes to miles and miles to feet and all that kind of stuff. So I want to have some inches over here. What's an equivalent conversion of inches into the next largest measure of length? Like how many inches equals how many of something of the next bigger length? 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. So we're going to put 12 inches here is equivalent to 1 foot. Okay? But the problem is we are wanting to get to area. Even if I multiply inches times inches, that gives me inches squared. So I am going to go ahead and square all of this and square this because I need inches cubed. Now, if I square the inches, I also have to square this 12. So what is 12 to the 2nd power, or 12 squared? Does anyone know right off the top of the head? 144. So this becomes, and these are equivalent, 144 inches squared is equivalent to, well, 1 squared is still just 1, and then foot squared. So I am writing it like this, but this here in black is my answer I'm really looking for. Okay, so we have 1 inch times 144 inches squared over 1 foot squared. Okay, so now we're going to multiply again, and I know 1 foot is equivalent to, what's the next highest type of measurement? You go from feet to Yes, except here they do an even bigger jump. They tell us right here that 5,280 feet is 1 mile. So we are going to go. Oh, I did that wrong. See? I did that wrong. So I need to put, back up, not 1 foot, but I need to put 5,280 feet is equivalent to 1 mile. Okay? But we have feet squared here. So I am also going to square all of that. I'm going to square the 5,280 feet squared. So 5,280 squared, or to the second power on your calculator, gives you how much? 5,280 squared gives you how much? Everybody should have a calculator, or almost everybody. $5,280 squared. Isaiah.
I got a big number, but
400?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got it. All divided by 1 mile squared. Well, 1 squared is still 1. And now this becomes miles square. Okay, so I'm writing it like this, but when we calculate it, we need to multiply with this, okay? All right, so that's 1 mile squared. Okay, but now I need to change and get 1 mile squared is equivalent to 640 acres. Good morning. Okay. And we are trying to figure out how much rain fell on our 1 acre. So I need to multiply this by 1 mile squared divided by 640 acres. So we started with an inch of rain. We multiplied it by the equivalent ratio of 12 inches, that quantity squared to 1 foot squared. We squared that, yada, multiplied by 5,280 squared over that, and times 1 mile squared divided by 640 acres. So what's going to cancel out? I'm going to have feet squared. That cancels out with feet squared here. I am going to have miles squared cancel out with miles squared. And this is no longer in there. This is no longer in there. So my answer should be inches squared, which is inches to the third over acres. So here's what we need to do. We need to take 144. I must need a little bit bigger. Yeah. 144 times 27,878,400. Get that answer and divide it by 640. So the top two multiplied and then divide by 640. And tell me what you get as an answer, as we have no space left. Everybody should be multiplying this out, because you're going to have to do that with large numbers at times. All right. The answer, I believe, should start with a 6. Does it start with a 6? Yes. Okay. So, Isaiah, what did we get for an answer? 6272160 at the end.
No. 6,272,000.
And then what?
There's no one.
No 1. Okay. So this would be 70. No.
6,077,100 so 272,640.
640. And that is inches to the third per acre. Acre. Yes. So, how many cubic inches of water fell on our lot? 6,272,640 cubic inches. Okay, a lot of rain. That is a lot of rain. I told you we couldn't say a lot fell on our lot. They want to figure it out. All right. That's the hardest one, I believe. Okay. Letter B says, how many cubic feet of water? Cubic feet. So this is cubic inches. So we start with that amount, which is, again, 6,272,640 inches cubed, and they want cubic feet. Okay? I don't want to have inches left. So that's going to go on the top, and I need an equivalent ratio. If I don't want inches to be on the top, where do I need to have my inches for this ratio? On the bottom. So this is inches, and we know that there are 12 inches in 1 foot, correct? But we need to cube that so we can get rid of our cubic inches. So we're not only cubing the inches themselves, we also have to cube the amount, which is 12. So what is 12 to the third power? Which is 12 times 12 times 12. Because you can't just do it with the units. What is it? 1,928? 1,728. So 1 to the third power is still just 1, and 1,000, I still missed it. Sorry, I should have written it down. What's the number? What's the number? 728. Thank you. So you are going to take this number and divide it by 1,728 to get the number of cubic feet. Cubic feet. 6,272,640 divided by 1,728 equals, it's not too much. Guys, you're the ones with the calculators. Come on. 3,630. This is cubic feet. So this would be feet to the third power, or cubic feet. Anybody else get that answer? Anybody else try it? Boo. Let me see. Gotta check my cheat sheet here. Yes, 3630. Woohoo! That's good. Yes. Thank you. All right. So this is the weight. No, this is how much cubic feet of water. Letter C, if 1 cubic foot of water weighs 62. Listen, if 1 cubic foot of water, so 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot. Okay, this is 1 foot, 1 cubic foot of water. This weighs 62 pounds. Okay, What is the weight of the water that fell on our lot? Well, we don't have 1 cubic foot. We have 3,630 of them. So what would I do to figure out the weight of that amount of water? Guys, I know this is not the most riveting, but it's very important to understand how to do this. So we have 3,630 cubic feet of water. And 1 cubic foot of water weighs 62 pounds. 1 cubic foot. So if 1 weighs 62 and I have 3,000 and some, you would take 3,000 times that 62. And when you do that on your calculators, not on your phones, what are you going to get? Gabe, come on, head up, please. I don't know, I can't. What's the numbers? Times 62. Somebody help me out. No, you tell me. Isaiah. 060. Anybody else get that number? You did? Okay. So if 1 weighs 62, this would be 225,060 pounds. That's how much it would weigh. This is the water that is falling down on our acre lot. Whew. All right. And the last one for this problem. If the weight of 1 gallon of water is 8.3 pounds, that's 1 gallon, how many gallons of water fell on your lot? Well, this is how much it weighs, so that's 225,060 pounds. And it says 1 gallon of water is 8.3 pounds. How many gallons of water? Well, if I would do an equivalent conversion, I want pounds to be on the bottom. And that is 8.3, and that is for 1 gallon. So you are going to take 225,000, blah, 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 divided by 8.3 pounds. And what do we get for our number of gallons of water? Rachel, please put that away. You know I'm right. Use the calculator. 225,060 divided by 8.3.
27,115.66265.
Divide 66.
27,115?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just put 0.6. And that is, if the weight, how many gallons of water? There it is. So that is the number of gallons of water. And gallons is a measure of volume. It is not a measure of weight. So that's how many gallons would have fallen on our little old acre lot. Okay? That's a lot. All right. So do you see how you try to find an equivalent conversion which cancels out the same amounts on the top and the bottom? Okay? That's how you do it. All right? Any questions about that second problem? All right, let's go to the last one on that page. Oh, no, too early. Looks like I forgot to erase it. Units of conversion. Usually you do a lot of this in your science classes. Have you done some of this in your science classes before? Some of you?
I think so.
No?
I think so.
Schneider, are we ready yet? Okay. So let me get rid of this. This one I almost think is probably the easiest one. If I had to do it over, which I considered it, I probably would have done this one first and done them in reverse order. All right, so here we go. Astronomy. Light travels at 186,282 miles per second. Light travels in space very fast, okay? So how many miles will light travel in a year? This is how much it travels in a second. We need to figure out how much it's going to travel in a year. So I need to start with what they give us, that light travels at 186,282 miles, that's MI, in 1 second. So we're trying to get from seconds to years, all right? Seconds to years. So I am going to multiply by, I want to put seconds on the top, and I know there are 60 seconds are equivalent to 1 minute. Okay? All right, then we multiply with another conversion. I have minutes on the bottom, so I'm going to, for my conversion, put minutes on top. And I know 60 minutes are equivalent to how much? 1 hour. That's the next largest amount of time. Remember, we're going to a year. Then I know I want hours at the top. I know there are 24 hours in a day. And it says we are to use 365 days for a year. So I'm going to put days up here. 365 days in 1 year. So what happens, all of these units cancel out except for the first one, which is miles per year, and that is telling me how many miles it's going to travel in a year. So I need to take all of these numbers in the numerator and multiply them together. And yes, it's going to be a very, very large number. So 186,282 times 60 times 60 times 24 times 365. Sean? Gabe? What? Billion and trillion. Now, most of your calculators are probably going to take it to a scientific notation. So, so 5.874?
Yeah, 874.
5.874 times 10 to the 12th power. And that is miles per year. So a lot of miles in a year. Miles per year. All right. Capella is the 6th brightest star in the sky, and it is 41 light years from Earth. Okay, and it said above, this unit of distance is called a light year. So miles per year is a light year. So Capella is 41 light years from Earth. How many miles will light from Capella travel on its way to Earth? Well, if I take 5.874 times 10 to the 12th power, distance is called a light year. So this is 1 light year, and Capella is 41 light years away. What would I need to do? This is called a light year. If I say miles per year, this is called a light year. This is for 1 light year. This is 1 light year. So if I take that number of miles and I multiply that by 41, how many miles is that going to be? Really, really big. Eek. I can't even read my own writing. 2.41.
2.55. Wait, no.
So 5.874 times 10 to the 12th times 41 gives.
2.55.
Okay.
I got that. I got
41
2.408.
times 10 to what power?
14.
Okay, we'll just say it's 2.4 times
Oh, that's what I mean.
10 to the, you said 18th? 14th power. 1036. All right. Yeek. Finally, it says Neptune is 2,798,842,000 miles from the sun. How many hours does it take light to travel from the sun to Neptune? All right, so you would start with yeek. I know. So we will see if we can finish this one tomorrow because we will not have enough time. But please, guys, you need to get into some better habits. Some of you, please make sure you have done homework number 1 on Canvas. It's supposed to be due today. Okay? So after today, if you have not done it, I will put a 0 in there. That should hopefully get you to understand you need to do this. Yes, I forgot that, didn't I? But I was not here yesterday too. I totally forgot though. Yes. 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 So you need a pass? Okay. All right. So we will finish that last one tomorrow. It really isn't that bad, but it does take some time. Please, if you have not gotten me your projects, make sure you get me your projects. Some I have graded. The grades are in. And I probably will talk to you tomorrow about how you can improve that grade specifically. Okay? All right.